Hello and welcome, dear friends from around the world. And it's my great pleasure, un grande onore, to present you Federico Ferraris, a close friend. We know each other for many years. I think we met for the first time during the European Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, one of the meetings, but talking about, I don't know, 15 years ago?
Yeah, more or less 15 years ago. I think 2003, 2004, something like that.
Yeah. That's when I was accepted as active member at the European Academy in 2003. This was the Capri meeting. This was this famous Capri meeting where I think all of us remember this was an amazing event we had there, and a good time. So welcome, Federico. Buonasera.
Buonasera.
E grazie mille per aver accettato il mio invito. So now we switch back to English. Federico, tell us a little bit more about you. For all out there, for the few people out there who don't know you, tell us a little bit more about you, Federico.
Okay, so thanks for first of all, Alessandro. Yes, you always pushing us as authors and not only as colleagues to improve, to overtake our limits. So it's my real pleasure, not only because here is the official space of International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry, that I'm a big fan, not only an author, and I have the privilege of the board of the meeting of the editorial board, a member of the editorial board, but also as a friend of you. And thanks for this invitation. So talking about me, I mean, I don't want to bother you with my CV, with the academies that I'm a member in. I prefer to say something about my path. So I'm a dental technician. As a high school in Italy, you can do the high school as a dental technician. But I never worked like this. But in my mind, my father is a dental technician as well. So this idea of the teeth was in my mind. I'm in Alessandria, a small town, and in a moment of my life, it was quite impossible to think to overtake some goals, to be member of the European Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, to be member of Italian Academy of Conservative. And what I have to tell you guys, that for me, the peer group is absolutely important. So thanks to the influence of people like Alessandro, like other members, active members of the European Academy, to stay with the top people, top speakers, top authors, is something that in some way, or you leave that group, or you follow that group. And so in some way, you are inspired from what these people that has a specific mindset, specific habits, specific goals, you are contaminated from this. And this is just to say something about me, that I had the fortune, and also I want to be part of some groups, specific groups, is something that influenced my path. So now I can say that I had some satisfaction in my professional life. I have many other goals, many other ambitions, but yeah, this was something that influenced me. And also the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry is, I was there when we were thinking about this new journal in 2006. It was the first edition. And also there for me is an amazing peer group, because you can see from the best articles from the best authors. You can see, as a clinician, I mean, also. And so you can be contaminated. Also this group that there is in Facebook, where we can interact, is a big opportunity to stay on the shoulder of the giants.
Yeah, we will talk later about this, but coming back to academies. So you are a member of several academies, as far as I know, not only the European Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, Accademia Italiana di Conservativa, SCAD. I think so many academies. So what is driving you? What is driving you to be member of so many academies? It's an ongoing question. In which academy should I apply? So you made a good statement. So you want to be active. So I think, how can you be active in so many different societies, run your office, have a family, travel a lot? So tell us a little bit more about this passion of being in academies.
Okay, so tell you the truth, you can see the apex of the iceberg. So in some academies, I decided, even a nice place, nice groups, I decided don't be part of them. I had the fortune when I was a student to follow Accademia Italiana di Conservativa, Italian Academy of Conservative and Restorative, and also immediately after the graduation, European Academy. At the time, I was not able to speak English or just some words. So also that was something that strived me to improve, to overtake my limits. And then at 20 years old, to learn more English in order to have the opportunity to interact with people from all the parts of the world. So yes, I told you, I don't want to bother you with all the academies. I'm an active member in Italian Academy of Conservative, first European Academy, the year after, 2006 European Academy, 2007 Italian Academia Italiana di Conservativa. Then I'm a member, I'm a DSD Master. I'm a member in Italian Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, a member of International Academy of Adhesive Dentistry, in American Academy of Restorative, and in the Society for Cornea and Appearance, where I'm a president-elect. So for both for SCAD and for Italian Academy of Conservative, I'm president-elect. Now I decide to quit, not to quit, but to go a little bit slower with this academy because it's a big commitment. But it's also, as I mentioned before, if you select the proper academy, if you select those type of academy where you see those masters, those mentors that you want to emulate, you want to be inspired from them, then is a commitment, but it's also something that you stay, when you go in a closed meeting. What I love more is the closed meeting, because in the closed meeting, I can sit close to Alessandro, on to other masters, we can chat, you can really interact on another level. So now I'm a little bit overload in academies involved, academy memberships. But I have to tell you that in a certain part of my career, gave me a lot. Now I don't have the time to follow daily everything. I rejected also some invitation to be part of a board because, okay, as you told before, you have to balance everything. And then I'm more involved in a scientific part, like speaker. This morning I had a seminar in a Malaysian Dental Association Congress that was online. So I'm more a player than, but to be active member in the proper groups that you can be inspired from is absolutely deserving. To become an active member is a path that is something that is an investment on yourself. To prepare the cases, to understand, it's like to present an article for International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry. So you have to understand what is the level that you have to work in order to be accepted like an active member. And you can have the pin of an academy, but one day you can decide to leave that academy. Many people are doing because they want to have the pin. You see, I don't have any pin. Because if I have to put all the pins, I don't know. But the idea is not the pin, but the work that you do on yourself. That manual dexterity, that level that you have to achieve in order to become an active member of top level academies means that you do an investment on yourself. And that skill is yours, even if one day you are not anymore a member. And this is, for me, is the most important part of to select top level academies.
So what I see these days, that all these academies you have mentioned, or also other academies, have a large number of so-called very old members. I consider also myself a member of the older generation, so we don't have so many years to come before we want or we can retire. And I see a gap. I see a gap in a lot of academies that say your age group, or the 30 to 40 years old, are missing a little bit in the academies. So what is your idea, or why has this happened? Is that young dentists are not keen enough to enter these academies? So I see that a lot of academies are struggling to recruit new young members, motivated members. Do you also see or feel a change in the dental community, that young dentists, we have much more female dentists that prefer also to work part-time? So nothing against female dentists, but they dedicate also a lot of time to the family, to children, etc. So they don't have the time. If I calculate, running a full office is 100%. Going to an academy, doing this, doing that, at the end it's 200% job. And then you have the family. So how do you find the time? So I see a lot of young dentists are asking also me or others, should I really join an academy? Should I go this way? Or what would be your recommendation for young dentists?
Yeah, okay. Definitely agree about the fact that these amazing groups, absolutely, some of them, as the 90th Congress, like American Academy of Restorative Dentistry. And for sure, you can have some active members that are close to retiring, or are deciding maybe to go a little bit slower in the profession. And on the other hand, we cannot see the same amount of young dentists enter there. I think that there is two main points in this about this phenomenon. The first is that all these academies are increasing the level, and so maybe one day in the past, I don't want to say that was easy, but now the technology, you think you are the global expert about the worldwide expert about dental cameras, dental photography. You remember when we had regular slides instead digital photos? Was quite difficult. All the cases that I presented, both in Italian Academy of Conservative and in the European Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry, were slides that I scanned, but the original picture was physical, not digital. So that was very, very tough. Now everything is quite easy, but now also it's easy to lose the focus, okay? And so maybe people are more in some way it's more difficult that people in some way find the focus to present the cases, to respect that rules that are quite not only high standard, but also high in terms of catch proper cases. On the other hand, now we are in this moment where the social media, the communication is quite easy. And so for young dentists, many times it's maybe easier to go in a private group that maybe has some followers, 10,000, 50,000 followers, and maybe to create this type of professional profile instead to have a lot of work to find 3, 4, 10 cases for academy. So we have this problem, because in some way also all of us, a big part that we have to manage in our life is the ego. Why you are a speaker, why I'm a speaker. We love what we do, we have the passion, we have the enthusiasm, but there is a part of ego. And in the past, that path to become a member of an academy, to have a certain position, was almost mandatory. Nowadays, you can put in the proper group 2 feelings, maybe so and so, and maybe you have 1,000 likes. And in this way is an easier way to fill it up the ego. So, but after years, if you do the experience of an academy, or you do the experience of fresh social post, you understand that behind an academy with some rules, you bring more back, you have more.
Yeah, but my question, or my point was more that the existing academies, I feel that there's a lack of really thriving towards the young generation that is active on social media. So I know a lot of, and you also, so-called famous Instagram dentists that are not bad dentists at all.
No.
But if you ask them, would you join an academy? Then they tell why. I run workshops, I do lectures, I don't want to publish, I don't want to write books, I don't need academies, because I do one post and I can fill up my workshop, I can run webinars. So they have adapted to this new situation, and I think that the academies are struggling a little bit on finding this connection. So because I'm trying, I also trying with the journal to interact more on social media, trying to be more online as an addition to the printed version, but it's not so easy.
Yeah, because the dynamics are totally different. I want to tell you, you remember Blockbuster? If we say Blockbuster, maybe you will remember, because if you lived already during the teenager phase of your life, or adult in 90s, you remember Blockbuster was the giant. If you want to watch a movie at home, you were going in that shop, you have to book, you have the store, everything presented well. And what happened? That was a reference. In a while, everything changed. And Blockbuster totally disappeared. Like Kodak for photos. Kodak is unbelievable. And the risk for the academies now, that when arrive a new mode, you have to take your value and try to organize that type of communication, that additional value, this distinctive element with new way. If you remain, it's like if you go with a horse or with a car. The horse is beautiful, but if the cars are invented, you cannot pretend to go from Alessandria to Zurich with a horse. You have to adapt your new way with the car. And so I think that many academies, even they understand, we as academies understood this, needs more steps in order to put together these aspects. But tell you the truth, I know that there are many people that follow workshop, but it's like for a journal. I want to give you a different example. International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry. You know very well, and also I know because I think I review, 50 articles. I have to check on my profile as a member of the board. And the majority are rejected. And now a person writes a sort of article by himself in his own blog, how to celebrate the outcome of that content, and people say clap, put a like. But there is no guarantee, because if you publish on this type of journal, like our journal, you have a committee, you have experts that evaluate the information, and is a guarantee this communication without any sort of guarantee is something that is dangerous for the future. So we have to find a balance, and the academies have to find this balance.
So, okay, so so let's jump. You just mentioned the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry. So this is now almost 16 years that the journal is running, and I think it's doing very well. Besides the thing I told you, that unfortunately the Italian version
we spoke about this. I'm so sorry about this.
Yeah, but we hope that the Italian dentists will now subscribe to the English version, so that we don't lose our Italian readership. But
I hopefully think that we have to find a way to maintain alive the Italian version. But we already spoke during a phone call on this anyway.
No, because you touched 2-3 points that are very interesting, not only for the future of the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry. So it's more and more difficult to find reviewers for the journals. There was a very interesting article this weekend in a Swiss newspaper. I will translate it and send it to the whole editorial board. And science is coming up, so science is changing. There are now two streams. So one stream now, open source publication, is going bigger and bigger because of some regulation that scientific information, scientific data has to be available for free. So this leads to more so-called open source journals where the author is paying for the article. At the end, a lot of universities have budget to sponsor their researchers to publish the articles in these so-called open source journals. We have to be careful if then also industry can sponsor some articles. And so the classic journal that we or almost all quintessence journals or a lot of other journals are the, let's say, classic journals where we have an editorial board, we have reviewers, and at the end nobody gets really paid for the work. And open source, you have a budget, so the author is paying. And also in the open source journals, it's interesting, reviewers don't get anything. So there is two possibilities. They were telling, okay, we can now pay $500 for a review. Then some people were arguing, no, this is too much. That's out of the budget of an editorial office to pay that much for a review. Okay, then let's go to 50. Yeah, that's symbolic, but it's also nothing. So if you pay 500, then some professors who are doing reviews say, look, I can go and do a consultation for a company and I get much more money for that than for the review. And there's an interesting approach, and I will highlight that and send that out to the whole editorial board. Reviews should be like writing an article. So if you do a review in a peer-reviewed journal, it should give you the same points or whatever you call it as writing an article. So we should make the process of reviewing something that counts, not as writing an article, but as a part of writing an article. So the members of universities, they need to publish to get their points. Whatever this point system is, we don't go into details now, but to maintain their professorship and whatever, they need to publish on a regular basis. So in the open source journal, they pay for it to get this all this work done. The assistants, the doctorates, the PhD students, they help the professors to do this. But the reviewers are a group that is not growing, it's getting smaller because there's no incentive to do a review, no real incentive. And one initiative that I find would really be helpful is to say, reviews, it's not just sending you a thank you letter or you can hang out a certificate that you did the review. We should try to get a real honoration a scientific honoration of doing reviews. What do you think about this idea?
I think, yeah, definitely. I understand very well what is the problem. And me, as a reviewer, you know very well, sometimes you have to push me, Federico, you have to review the article that I sent you 5 days ago, because, yeah, I understand also what is difficult for you. And I don't know how, from the last 16 years, you are able to manage this huge machine of International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry. So all my appreciation and congratulations for what you do, because you will tell me your secret one day. But also me, I started to be part of the board, editorial board of the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry in 2010. After 10 years, maybe you have a lot of commitments. So, and what is the curious thing? That maybe I reviewed 50 articles, and another one that reviewed three articles, we have the same recognition. We have the same name on the board. You don't have to do for your ego, as I mentioned, but for sure to give something more in terms of credits, in terms of could be interesting. Because I think that simply we have to pay in somehow, not necessarily dollars or euros or anyway money. We have to pay in somehow. We have to recognize somehow who is working more. It's like in the life. If you work more and you do more teeth, you have something more. If you do less teeth, you have something less. And I think that this makes sense. And to find a way in this way could be more stimulating for the people to have something more, to be more involved about the this type of commitment that is anyway a commitment. The open source to pay for an article, I think that is something that could be a disaster from a scientific point of view. Ciao Viviana, Viviana from Colombia, I say hello. And what I mean, honestly, this is absolutely that dangerous. If we have to pay, as you mentioned, because yes, the university can have the budget, but where is come from this budget? From the industry, from the brands. And I don't have nothing against company. For luck, we have companies. Otherwise, we could have only ideas. We should build up our own tools. So thanks God that we have industry that can provide us fantastic materials, tools, and new generation of tools. But everyone has to respect his own position in this scenario.
No, what I just want to say that we have to really look for incentives for the reviewers, for all people involved in peer-reviewed journals. Otherwise, we will lose them. So I see over the years that it's getting more and more difficult to motivate people to do the reviews, because at the end, they get like a thank you, and that's it. But again, I think this initiative of rewarding a review or giving some kind of points for a review, it's like writing part of an article. If you do a proper review, you have to read the article, you have to go through the references. It's almost like being part of the whole work. I remember 10 years ago we already discussed this, and there was the idea that then was not accepted, to include the reviewers as authors of the article, or at least write at the end who did the review of the article. So I think there are many possibilities to acknowledge the work of all the people involved. And it's not only the editor-in-chief and the editorial editorial office, the editorial board, and all people involved in such a project are very important, and I think they should be recognized more in the future.
Yeah, to put the reviewers as authors, I think that is even too much, because maybe I can accept as a reviewer an article, but maybe I'm not agree that I'm also put like author of that specific concept that is not mine, and maybe it's too much in front of the real authors that did a lot of work, and so I think that maybe it's too much. But also for the, well, in another way, if we talk about transparency, when you see an article published, for sure you had some reviewers that filter, that evaluate this manuscript. Should be interesting to know who are those that accept the manuscript. Also to give a value both to the manuscript and to the reviewer and the journal. And I think that it makes sense to do something like this. But yeah, I understand that it's not so easy, but should be a nice step to have an evolution and to stimulate more the reviewers to also to put the face. Don't say, okay, don't pay attention, I say yes or I say no. Because if you don't pay attention, you say yes. If there is your name, you have to also in public to say, yes, I said yes to this article for these reasons. And I put also my face.
This was a comment from Christian.
Thank you for the recommendation.
Yeah, but yeah. No, but the thing is, even if because we have to clarify this, even in open access journals, there's a review process, and an article can also get rejected. It's not just by paying a fee you have the guarantee to get your article accepted, but you pay for all the work that has to be done, the editorial work, etc., etc. But you're not paying to be published. So this is a good point. This is a good point mentioned by Christian. But what I want to say is, again, I think we should find or try to find a system, and we are working on this, and also other journals are working on this to get more people motivated to help in this review process and give them something back for their work. This was my comment.
But my final comment on this, and thanks, Christian. I want to say hello to Christian. That thanks to the Haze family. For many aspects, we are here to talk about journals, books, and we know Quintessence is the top of the top in the world, in the dental world, as knowledge, as books, and also with many top-level journals. I think that it makes sense that because this is another filter. Okay, you do the review, the process review, totally blind, totally like now. Then if you accept the article and or maybe also only for review, I have to pay a minimum fee. It makes sense because I demonstrate that I'm really motivated. So in that case, you filter the big amount of article, and we know that is a lot because this is a lot of work, maybe to filter. I want to give you an example. In my clinic, the first visit is not for free, okay? You want to have a first visit. Maybe I know that you tell me, Alessandro, in Switzerland, you don't have to say something like that because it's normal, I don't know. But in Italy, there is these two trends. Or first visit for free with X-ray, with everything, or you pay. But you say, it's crazy that you ask to pay with the majority or a big amount of Italian dentists that are doing the first visit for free. But I want to have a selection. I want to have a selection. And so, thanks to this, if you manage properly with a good balance, with not conflict of interest and everything, could make a selection of the authors. If I'm absolutely motivated to pay a fee or something, is another filter that allow to us don't have some bad articles or not motivated authors. Yeah.
Okay, this is something that we need to discuss in detail within the editorial board and with others. But thanks for your input. Let's switch to another interesting topic that I wanted to address with you. Is how do you see the future of dental education? Will it go back to normal? This is like a provocative question because I feel that it will not go back to the normal we knew 1 year ago or 1.5 years ago. So I think we will create a new normal. So what are your experiences or what are your thoughts on this? So I remember a quote. A neighbor of us is the CEO of ABB, a big company, and he told me they spent 730 million euros on flight tickets in 2019. And he told us we will never go back to this number again. A lot of companies, and it's the big companies, are saying we were crazy traveling around the globe just for a short meeting. We flew to New York. The average time of meetings has went down from 90 minutes to 15 minutes during the pandemic. So people are getting quicker to the point, are more efficient. And so what do you think? So just I give you my insight and then you answer or you give me your insight. So what I see, we have learned now to do these interviews, to communicate online, to prepare ourselves with digital media. With in the future, we are working on project with augmented reality, virtual reality, using Unreal Engine that you know from the cinema, so-called gamification of learning. And all this is to prepare ourselves to go back to normal. But an event will not last 3 days or 4 days. I think the conference in the future will be much shorter, more efficient. So you have the social event, but not 3 nights, only 1 night. You will not have 4 days of lecture. You will have 1 day or 1.5 day of lecture and a half day of hands-on workshops. So I think this is my vision of the new normal. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are about this future of dental education.
Yeah. First of all, in this, you already answered. What means normal? Normality doesn't exist because our normality is changing every day. So, and with this very fast changes due to many situations, and now with this pandemic, something that was normal in 2005, in example, was not normal 10 years before and is not normal now, or was not normal in 2019. So I really think that in this last year, we had the opportunity to really push faster on what is the technology that we have nowadays. I have to tell you the truth. This morning, I was a speaker in this Congress because I was supposed to be in Malaysia, and now they moved to virtual, and I accept to be a speaker. But in the last 6 months, I rejected 90% of invitation to have webinars, because also there, if you want to go in a new normality, this new normality, it doesn't mean that you have to do education for free anyway, because we are professional. And it's like if you say, okay, during the pandemic, I do filling, I do crowns for free, because people that means that has specific, or I want to do charity and 1 per year, or I don't know, I do crowns for free for some specific people. But this doesn't mean that you will provide your dental services for free for your entire life, because it's your work. Okay, so this is so in next future we will see how, I think, a certain type of quality of education will be on payment, even if virtual, and another type will be free, easier, and then for someone will be an opportunity. And I mean, also here, we think that now with the virtual events, we will not have a physical event. As you mentioned, probably we optimize some type of events that we can do virtual, but some specific live, in presence event like intensive courses, specific path with great interaction with the people, we will survive. Probably for other events that are not so mandatory to have live, or maybe you ask to a speaker to travel from the other part of the world to have 20 minutes lecture, maybe you can do a hybrid version. And so I think that we will appreciate more this new opportunity. Yeah. And,
maybe you can tell us about the experiences or the discussions you had in all the academies you're a member of. So what is the tone? What do you hear, or what do you feel from others around the globe? Not just your personal feeling. So anything you can share, because this was like the question of this I think young colleague. So
what do you advise to the students that wants to advance in the academic search this pandemic moment? To the academic search, it means if you mean Eduardo, if you mean that searching for academies to be part, or academic?
No, I think that academic search means to get to a higher level, to learn, yeah. Because we still learning is related to going to school and going to meetings. So there will be a lot of possibilities, and you see that people are struggling what the future will be. And I think now, with the start of vaccination, with a lot of things we can do, we will go back to travel and meet in person, but not as quick as we might have expected. And that's why I say we need to adapt. And also the big companies, I will do some interviews with CEOs of dental companies, and this will be interesting to see their vision of the future of the dental world. So the IDS will be virtual, but I think this will be not really. It's selling things on a virtual platform. Okay, Zalando, Zara, all this works, or eBay, but for dentistry, I think we're not at the Amazon or AliExpress level. So we need social contacts. So
I think that we will have something like a balance of it, and I think that this is a good moment in order to stay at home, to see different situations, to know different situations, different academies. Many academies, if you pay the fee and you become a member, are putting a lot of contents online, and are putting very high value material from seminars from their members. And then in this case, you can have a very turbo, very high, a big improvement, a high speed compared in the past. In the past, maybe you had to do a travel, you had to spend 2,000 euro to be in a congress in order to see a certain amount of lectures. Now you can have 3 times or more staying at home and paying some 100 euros. Okay, so this is a big opportunity. And so what I want to say to our colleagues, to the young colleagues, decide what is your focus, decide what is the topic, look for the top academies, and ask if they have something as an online, if you pay a fee. If you want to have everything free, you will have poor quality, for sure. Maybe you can have something for free of a high quality once, but this is not the rule. This is not the rule.
The problem. Sorry if I interrupt you. The problem also
Yeah.
for the younger generation, or not even for the younger generation, is how can you judge what is of good quality or what is not? So this is another. I think this is a topic that we can talk for more than, or for several hours, just about this. And this is also something that you see on social media. You know, the famous Facebook University, and all this coming up. So this no filter for the young generation, thumbs up. It looks nice, and you don't really learn something. So I think academies, guidelines, peer-reviewed journals. So these are the basic of evidence-based dentistry. Yes.
This was exactly what I was mentioning before. To prepare 3 cases to become an active member, it means huge work behind. And from another hand, I mean, you maybe do a lower quality case, not something comparable with the level that is asked to become a member or to do something like that, and you take a lot of likes. Because the filter of the people now is difficult that remain always very high. Sometimes I see, honestly, on social media, oh, wonderful, wonderful, fantastic, and you cannot believe it. And honestly, I don't write nothing because I don't want to be impolite, and because I have other ways to take my energy, to put my energy in some other aspects. So I prefer to have a small group of my former students where interact, when discuss cases with people selected, instead to be in something that you can see no filter. So also there, the natural selection of the dentist will be like this. People that see some quality understand that, okay, yesterday I suppose that was very good, but now that I see this, I understand the difference, and then model their own filter, and someone that remain to put, oh, wonderful, wonderful, to something that usually you say, okay, nice, but not so nice. I mean, so I think that we will have a natural selection, like in everything. Also in this enormous moment of mixing everything, after the storm, you will see that everything will go slowing down, and we are seeing this. The majority of the top speakers that were doing for the lockdown webinar for free now are not doing so anymore, because they want to do something for specific projects, for academies, for companies that are doing something different. So I think, guys, that if we have the illusion to have the best dinner in a Michelin star restaurant and pay like a McDonald's, is an illusion. If you want to pay like a McDonald's, you will have like a McDonald's. If you want to have the finest food with the finest preparation, if you want to have that dinner in a Michelin star restaurant, you have to pay the price.
That is the perfect statement, because now we are already on time to sum up, to finish our interview, because I don't want to take it too long. I want to keep it short, concise, to the point. And I think, Federico, you did a great job. It was very nice speaking to you. I'm looking forward meeting you in person, hopefully very soon. We don't know yet how long this whole thing will last. But again, I'm sure that when things go back to normal, this will be a new normal, a little bit, hopefully, less stressful. We hope to keep up the quality, or even raise the quality, to mix these things. And at the end, dentistry is something that has to be done with your hands. And so all the lectures are useless without hands-on workshop, hands-on training. And I think this is the thing that has to go back to normal for sure, because this is an important part of our education. So, Federico, I really thank you very much for being my guest tonight. I leave the last words to you before we say goodbye to our audience. Federico, say some words. As I think it's always important to address some words to our younger colleagues, to our young dentists out there. What are, in 2-3 sentences? You told already a few points, but what are the 2-3 things you have to say to the young dentists out there?
First of all, guys, subscribe International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry. Yes, but really, I don't want to say because here with Alessandro or because this is the journal that I love to publish more by myself, but because honestly, you have to, if you want to have, if you decide to play in a certain type of level, you have to follow those type of mentors, those type of authors and speakers that are that quality. So at the young colleagues, I want to say that honestly, when you dream very high and you start from a basic situation, is almost impossible. Is when you climb a mountain. You don't have to climb, and when you are at the base of the mountain, only focus on the top, okay? You have to think about every step. And the secret is to have a regular walking, okay? Not run 10 meters and then exhausting, stop for 1 hour. So regular work. So my motto is do better than yesterday. It means every day, a small step, every day, something to improve, and then one day, after many years, even if at the beginning you cannot see the result, and you say, come on, I'm doing everything, but I don't see the result that I'm supposed to have, yeah, no problem. Because all of us has to face with failures, with problems. The secret is to overtake them and not give up. So every day was small improvement. Select the peer group that you want to be part. Be inspired from the mentors that for you are really real mentors and not those that are giving you something for nothing. And you will, one day, you will have results that at the beginning you couldn't imagine. This is my message. Okay?
Super. Thank you. Thank you very much. Grazie mille, Federico.
Grazie.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks a lot. Thanks to you, and bye-bye to everyone. Ciao, buona serata.